Good evening. You're watching NewsX this Saturday. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Let's make a start with our top story. Robert Vadra has spoken out on the VIP exemption plan of the odd-even formula in Delhi. He's criticized the exemptions granted to vehicles of VIPs by the Delhi government in its odd-even scheme to control pollution, saying all must adhere to the law. He claimed that creating parallel lists of exemption is complete hypocrisy and all VVIPs must adhere to the rule. But the big question now arises is whether the Gandhis and other VVIPs will take Vadra's advice.
Delhi government's decision to exempt certain VVIPs from the odd and even formula, which will be implemented in Delhi from January 1st, is drawing a lot of criticism. We have seen how Aam Aadmi of Delhi has in fact criticized this very decision of Aam Aadmi party, saying that what is the need to exempt a VVIP from this very list. Now joining this list of criticizers as far as this particular decision of Aam Aadmi party is concerned is Robert Vadra, the son-in-law of Congress President Robert Vadra. In a Facebook post has attacked Aam Aadmi party and has called it to be a hypocrisy wherein certain people have been exempted from the list as far as odd and even formula is concerned. Well, we really have to see whether we are going to see more voices coming in wherein people will be criticizing, and of course we really have to see whether these VVIPs that have been exempted by Delhi government will also come forward and voluntarily say that they do not want any exemption and they'll adhere the rules that a common man in Delhi is adhering to.
What an irony. Mr. Robert Vadra all his life took privileges for not being an ordinary citizen. And he is making a comment about exceptions. So I think it's an irony and it raises more questions about him.
Well, meanwhile, some breaking news now coming in on this story. Aam Aadmi Party leader Ashutosh has called Vadra a hypocrite.
Don't take Robert Vadra very seriously. He's a VIP by accident. That's all. And the whole world knows that there is a protocol and that protocol has to be respected. If the President's cavalcade and the Prime Minister's cavalcade, there are security provisions and that has to be respected. We are not here to confront anybody.
Further breaking reactions coming in. The BJP too taunts Vadra, asks him to give up his perks before preaching others.
Was he being hypocritical when he was enjoying the special security facilities just because he belonged to a dynasty? To talk of equality now is very easy for him. But the fact is that when the government takes any policy, it takes into account various issues such as security, such as the need. So Robert Vadra should not try to make a political capital out of it, or even the Congress, because Congress has been misusing political authorities and giving security special privileges left and right. So they have no local standard, I speak on this.
Further breaking news coming in. Congress's spokesperson Tom Varakan has claimed that Vadra only expressed public sentiment.
Without the infrastructure, transport, the last mile of the metro, and without all this facility available, you are putting the hardship on the citizens of Delhi. Doctors who have to attend emergencies in the hospital, no provision, and what have you, an additional car is what will be there in total effect in Delhi. Everybody will buy an additional car, whether it is on EMI or however, because there is no way to travel. If this is what the citizens of Delhi have to face, Mr. Vadra is perfectly fine in saying what he has said.
Well, let's go straight across to Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan joining us live now with further details on this story. Madhav, you heard what the BJP and the AAP have to say. They're calling Robert Vadra to be quite a hypocrite, but the Congress is saying he's only expressing public sentiment, that people are upset with VVIP segregation in this odd-even formula.
Well, the Congress, of course, has a point that this is what the people are upset about, but they're also ironically upset about people like Mr. Vadra. As the BJP and AAP have been saying, the fact is that Mr. Vadra enjoyed these privileges when the Congress was in power, when the UPA government was in power, and now suddenly seems to be against VVIP privileges, because we all know that in airports across the country, Mr. Vadra was on the no-frisk list, along with several top constitutional authorities and public figures in the country. So clearly, of course, as far as Mr. Vadra is concerned, concerned, clearly the irony, of course, of the entire situation of him now coming out and speaking against VVIP privileges is something that is difficult to fathom. Also, at the same time, of course, we do know how amongst those who would be getting these VVIP privileges are several family members of his who are SPG protectees. So clearly, of course, charity begins at home. Nothing is stopping him from asking for that to be implemented as far as they are concerned as well. But clearly, of course, those who have security concerns, those who have security threats, those are people perhaps under whom there can be some kind of exemption. But the large number of VVIPs who have been given a blanket clearance as far as the Delhi government is concerned, that is certainly, of course, a controversial issue and continues to remain one. But the big question is, will all these persons also voluntarily give up the perks and privileges that they've been given as far as not following the odd even formula rule is concerned, or will they continue to travel as a business as usual?
Absolutely, and of course the follow-up question to what Robert Vadra has also stated in that Facebook post, Madhav, would he give this advice to his extended family as well, who are all SPG protectees and would also be on this exempted list?
Well, that's of course a very sensitive issue, but the fact is that if Mr. Vadra is making such a public statement about what he believes is a sentiment that a lot of people share, or at least he shares, then certainly, of course, charity begins at home. Nothing stopping him from asking several of his family members to also follow the same rule and perhaps carpool as is expected of common citizens of this city, or perhaps even take public transport. So clearly, of course, that would also perhaps send out a message that these are leaders who are actually practicing and in fact are setting an example for the citizens of this country, because clearly a lot of chaos that's expected on the streets of Delhi between the 1st and the 15th of January as far as the implementation of the odd even rule is concerned. So will leaders really show that they are leading from the front and also implement all of these suggestions?
Okay, well, stay on with us, Madhav. In fact, we're broadening this discussion now. Joining us live this evening is Somnath Bharti, MLA and spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, is with us live from Delhi. Also with us, RP Singh, National Secretary of the BJP, is also joining us live. Good evening to both of you, gentlemen. Somnath Bharti, to you first. What's your response to Robert Vadra? He's come out and criticized this VVIP exemption list. It's very ironical given the fact that he also enjoyed these privileges when the Congress was in power. But the fact is he's joining public sentiment, is what the Congress is saying, against this VVIP exemption list.
Still in the country. Has it not become obsolete? I mean, somebody who has termed this country as Banana Republic, and somebody who still continues to be in the list of VIPs on at the airports, which is a slap on the BJP's face. There is no meaning, there is no credibility attached to his statement.
Right, but the fact is, as you are saying, there's no credibility attached to his statement. Fair enough, Somnath Bharti. But do you feel also that, your government, being a government of the Aam Aadmi, should not have had this VVIP exemption list in the first place? There are many who are criticizing why should a certain amount of people be exempt from this sort of, odd even formula when the Aam Aadmi has to suffer?
Sir, I agree with you entirely. In fact, there is a logic behind it, because we have had enough of altercations between centre and Delhi, and centre has given us enough troubles. We don't want any more trouble. In fact, among the exemption list, it does not include Delhi MPs or Delhi MLAs or Delhi ministers or Delhi chief minister. Exemptions include ministers from central government. And we don't want any sort of resistance even to the least to this formula of odd even. Let's go ahead with this formula, and if these officers, these ministers and these leaders, if they at all are concerned with Delhi's people interest, they should voluntarily give up that exemption privilege.
Okay, so you feel it's been done to ensure that the centre is cooperative in making this plan a success. Let's take that point now to RP Singh of the BJP. Mr. Singh, what is your comments on what Robert Vadra has come out and said, saying that this entire VVIP exemption list is a complete hypocrisy, it should be scrapped immediately?
Super VIP dynasty is trying to carve a political role for him. That's the only thing I have to say on this. Because first let him declare how many So many, what number of cars does he have in his family hair? So he's saying that VIP should be not be included, and I'll appreciate Mr. Somnath Bharti. Please, I'm saying you, include everyone into that list. Don't leave anyone, and don't take this stand that you are again trying to create a halo around yourself. Don't do that. Please include everyone in that list. I'm requesting to do so. So please stop playing politics into these good subjects also. That's the problem with you. And Mr. Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister, has categorically told you that they will cooperate, Delhi Police will cooperate, the central government will cooperate with you on all issues and subject regarding pollution.
Okay, well, you have a firm retort there, Mr. Bharti from the BJP, saying that they are ready to cooperate with you. Why exempt them? Mr. RP Singh saying include the ministers as well. Why create this VVIP exemption list in the first place?
No, I would love to, I would love if RP Singh ji writes a letter to central government, and let central government writes a letter to us that do not include any of the ministers, any of the
why write letter?
cabinet minister or even the prime minister.
No, it's your government decision. Take a call on that. Why you want a letter to be written that? I mean, as if you are waiting for everything you do in Delhi.
RP Singh ji, we have had enough because see what we are dealing in Delhi.
Stop doing this.
Pollution in Delhi is an emergency situation. We are living in a gas chamber. We don't want this novel idea to get hit by any of the prejudices which central government has against us. So kindly, why don't you?
Please go ahead.
There is no, see, we have exempted, but there is no ban. You can surely leave it. There is no ban. I mean, we have not prohibited the VIPs or BVIPs from opting for it. So they can surely opt for it. You do not need any restrictions to be put on them.
Metro even once after the chief minister. Your chief minister is claim that I'll travel by metro. We won't take VIP
RP Singh ji, our chief minister, our ministers, our MLAs, we have all included ourselves in the list to follow this formula.
So don't do that. Don't play politics, Mr. Somnath Bharti. Stop playing politics. I'm saying, please issue a list where you include everyone.
RP Singh ji, what I'm saying, kindly request Delhi Police to cooperate with us. And kindly request Delhi Traffic Police to do whatever they can to make this formula successful for Delhiites.
They will do that. You also know the instruction of Home Minister to implement the orders. There is a clear instruction of Home Minister to implement these orders and support you and cooperate with you as far as pollution goes. There is a clear instruction. So don't play politics into it. That's the problem with you. Because you can't stay
at the airport, but he still continues to be there.
It's such a good cause. Don't play politics into it.
I'm not playing any politics anywhere, sir.
The fact
we are only concerned about people of Delhi.
Mr. Bharti, what the BJP is trying to say is that you are assuming that Delhi Police and the centre will not cooperate with you.
To ensure that this formula becomes successful, people of Delhi do get their due.
Please issue a notice for every individual in Delhi. Don't exempt anyone out of this.
Mr. Bharti, the point here, if you listen, that RP Singh is trying to counter you on is that you are assuming, Mr. Bharti,
given a statement that he will opt for it as and when the rule becomes.
No, but Mr. Bharti, you're assuming that the Delhi police is not going to cooperate with you. You're assuming that the centre is not going to cooperate with you. That's the assumption. That people like Robert Vadra are taking pot shots at you now. That's the irony, isn't it?
No, we're not assuming that, sir, because there are here and there statements, and those statements do give us some hint that possibly they are trying to sabotage our formula, sabotage this attempt of freeing Delhi from pollution. And so that's what I'm saying. Because RP Singh ji is the senior leader of BJP and he has his own clout in the BJP. So possibly he can help us. And he can let the central government know that he's a habitant of Delhi and he wants this formula to become successful.
No, but Mr. RP Singh, do you feel that there is sufficient reason for the Aam Aadmi Party to doubt your cooperation, given the fact that on several occasions we have seen the clash between the centre and the the state on various issues?
Sir, Home Minister Shri Rajnath Singh ji has given clear instruction to Delhi Police to cooperate with Delhi government on pollution as a subject and do whatever they want you to do. What else do they need? But they can't do without playing politics. Even in a good job, they have to play politics. Even for a good cause, they have to play politics. We are saying, yes, even us as a BJP government, everyone is prepared to support Mr. Kejriwal and his government on pollution as a subject.
Okay. But Mr. Somnath Bharti, do you agree then that the BJP is criticizing you on this VVIP exemption?
I'm glad I've noted, sir, your suggestion and your willingness to help us, and surely in the future we'll be glad to have noted this expression of cooperation from you.
Okay, so
And
after
we'll
this
surely
note,
be
Mr.
going
Bharti,
ahead
will
with
you
such
advise
cooperation exhibited right on
the
the
central leadership of your party that VVIP exemption list should be scrapped? Would that be your advice, given the fact that people are criticizing you, BJP is taking potshots at you, Robert Vadra, who has been on such exemption lists before, is also finding it an excuse? Yeah.
Uday, Uday, what I'm saying, sir, with folded hands, I'm only saying that there is no prohibition. The central leaders of central government and leaders of central government and ministers of central government, there is no prohibition. They can surely opt for it. If the way Honorable Prime Minister had given a call to the nation that people who do not need that subsidy on the gas, they can willingly, voluntarily leave that. Similarly, because we don't want to pressurize central government ministers to earn an ire from them, so they can voluntarily leave it. There is no prohibition.
Why are you trying to play politics against
I would love to have announcement from
Mr.
BJP
Somnath Bharti,
ministers
stop doing this.
that they are opting for it.
Stop playing petty politics.
Let them
There's
say
no
that,
ire from the central government.
Honorable
If we are
ministers
saying
come out
we'll
and say
cooperate,
on
you
their Twitter, on their
go ahead
Facebook that they would abide by this formula.
Okay. Well, the fact is that obviously Robert Vadra has managed to incite this debate, not further. But of course, the irony is very clear. Final point to you, gentlemen. RP Singh, final point. What would you like to say as the last word on this topic before we close for a break?
Sir, I only have to request to Delhi government, Mr. Somnath Bharti,
All right. Well, of course, it seems the politics is continuing over this issue. But let's hope, as Somnath Bharti also was saying, and let's hope, as RP Singh also was saying, that the centre and the state come together to ensure that some sort of formula is put in place to tackle the growing menace of air pollution in the city of Delhi. We're going to leave it there. Somnath Bharti and RP Singh, appreciate both of you joining us. Slipping into a quick break. Stay with NewsX.